Imagine a courtroom, not of earth, but of heaven itself. The air shimmers with an ethereal light, thrones stretch beyond sight into the infinite expanse, and at the epicenter of it all, the Creator himself sits in profound silence, his eyes burning with a love and justice that could birth and destroy universes. Before him kneels an angel once radiant beyond measure, now dimmed his magnificent wings, frayed from the dust of rebellion, bearing the silent testament to a war fought in the unseen realms. Every other angel who stood in defiance has been cast away forever, their names erased from the celestial choirs, their destinies sealed in the outer darkness. But this one is different. This is Seriel, the only fallen angel in the sweeping tapestry of eternity, who has been offered and accepted divine forgiveness. But why him? What singular act, what profound sorrow, what undeniable spark of goodness did he possess to earn a second chance, when countless others were denied even a sliver of hope? And more importantly, what does his extraordinary story mean for you? Because if there is mercy unimaginable and limitless, even for an angel who betrayed the very essence of heaven, then perhaps, just perhaps, there is boundless hope for each of us, mired in our own earthly struggles and imperfections. Stay with me and prepare to journey to the very heart of grace. This is a story that begins before the dawn of time, before the cosmos breathed its first breath, a story that plunges into the chilling depths of rebellion against the divine and ultimately ascends to the most unexpected, earth-shattering act of grace that heaven and indeed all of creation has ever witnessed. This is Bible Mysteries, and here we dare to delve into the hidden corners of Scripture, excavating the powerful, life-altering truths that they never quite taught you in Sunday school. So buckle up and get ready to have your understanding of forgiveness redefined. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss a breathtaking journey into the deep, often turbulent waters of God's Word. Prepare to be transformed. Before the first sunrise ever painted the pristine canvas of the Garden of Eden in shimmering gold, before the faintest sound of a single human heartbeat echoed through the nascent world, there existed the Council of the Watchers. They were not the fierce warriors' blades of divine retribution like Michael. They were not fleet-footed messengers delivering divine decrees like Gabriel. They were guardians, silent observers, meticulous keepers of God's grand design, entrusted with the sacred task of safeguarding creation's fragile beginnings. And amongst this august assembly stood Sariel. He was not the largest in stature, nor the loudest in pronouncements. His celestial armor bore no triumphant battle scars, and his voice did not boom with the earth-shattering resonance of celestial thunder. Instead, there was something uniquely compelling about him, an intangible quality that drew others near, a profound, quiet depth that resonated within his eyes as if he were perpetually seeing something magnificent and profound, something far beyond the immediate horizon of heaven's glory. Seriel had been bestowed with two weighty responsibilities, each integral to the unfolding of creation. First, to meticulously oversee the elegant dance of the moon across the inky expanse of the heavens, ensuring that the very fabric of time flowed according to God's perfect, unfathomable plan. Second, and perhaps even more intimately, to watch over the nascent spirits of humanity, not their fleeting earthly bodies, but the invisible eternal flame that flickered within each of them. It was a role that demanded infinite patience, unwavering dedication, and a heart overflowing with compassion. He had to stand at a divine distance, perpetually looking down upon the newborn world, guarding without interfering, subtly, guiding without ever being seen, a silent shepherd of souls. From the very edge of heaven's boundless expanse, Seriel would often gaze down at the earth, meticulously studying the first humans as they tentatively explored their new dominion. He watched Adam and Eve walking hand in hand through a verdant forest bursting with untamed life, children splashing with carefree abandon in crystal streams, their laughter echoing without a hint of fear, men shaping the very first tools from the raw materials of the earth, laying the foundations for civilizations yet to be born. He watched fascinated as the seasons gracefully shifted over their heads, painting the landscape in an ever-changing palette of colors. The vibrant warmth of summer, the cool, melancholic whisper of autumn, the hushed serenity of winter snow. And each time the moon flawlessly completed its cyclical journey across the celestial sphere, Seriel would meticulously mark it in his elaborate records, knowing that in God's perfect divine timing, these fledgling people would slowly grow in wisdom, expanding their understanding of the intricate tapestry of creation. But there was something more, something that resonated deep within his celestial being. When Sariel looked at humanity, he felt an emotion that not all angels in their detachment from the mortal realm could truly comprehend: compassion. He didn't just see them as pieces of the Creator's grand design elements in a cosmic equation. He saw their daily struggles, the way they sometimes stumbled blindly into danger, the devastating way that sickness could strike without warning, leaving them weak and vulnerable, the way gnawing hunger could bring even the strongest man to his knees. Not all watchers shared this sentiment. Some looked down on humanity with cold clinical detachment, viewing them as mere biological experiments. Others admired them to excess, dangerously blurring the boundaries between guardian and idolater. These differing viewpoints sparked debate. It started with small, hushed conversations amongst the watchers, quiet whispers that echoed through the otherwise silent courts of heaven. Why should we stand so far apart, eternally separated by an unbreachable divide? The whispers questioned. If we could walk among them, guiding them directly with our celestial wisdom, surely we could shield them from so much unnecessary suffering. We possess knowledge that could protect them from the myriad dangers that lurk in the shadows of this new world. Why keep it hidden, locked away within the confines of heaven's gates? Seriel tried valiantly to ignore the insidious whispers, at first pushing them to the furthest recesses of his mind. He knew with unwavering certainty the Creator's express command: do not under any circumstances cross the sacred boundary between heaven and earth unless explicitly sent. To do so would be an act of unimaginable defiance, a betrayal of the highest order. It wasn't simply about pride or control, as some of the more rebellious watchers argued. It was about divine timing, about understanding the delicate balance of creation. God's celestial knowledge was a potent force, like a raging fire. In the right place, wielded with wisdom and discernment, it could warm, illuminate, and give life. But if unleashed prematurely before humanity was ready to wield its power responsibly, it could burn everything to the ground, leaving behind only ashes and despair. One night, or what humans would call night, though heaven existed beyond the constraints of darkness, Sariel stood vigilantly watching a small human settlement far below. A child lay deathly sick in her mother's trembling arms, her fragile breathing shallow and ragged. The woman's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she whispered desperate prayers into the star-dusted sky, pleading for divine intervention. Sariel's celestial chest ached with an unbearable empathy. He knew the cure, a simple remedy that lay hidden within the very earth beneath their feet, a common plant whose leaves, when crushed and steeped in boiling water, could swiftly heal the raging fever that threatened to extinguish the child's life. It was a simple act, a seemingly insignificant gesture, but it was explicitly forbidden. And for the first time in his eternal existence, Seriel began to question the unyielding nature of the rule. It wasn't long after that fateful night that the watchers gathered in clandestine secrecy on the towering summit of Mount Hermon, a place of such unparalleled altitude that its snow-capped peak seemed to brush against the very belly of heaven. There were 200 of them, their celestial forms blazing brilliantly in the starlight, their faces etched with a mixture of apprehension and unwavering resolve. Seriel stood amongst them, his heart pounding with a mixture of dread and a desperate longing to alleviate the suffering he had witnessed. Their self-appointed leader, Shemihaza, stepped forward, his voice booming like distant thunder across the mountaintop. "Brothers," Shemihaza began, his voice resonating with passionate conviction, "you have all witnessed their pain, their endless struggles, their heartbreaking vulnerability. You have watched them stumble and fall time and time again, without the knowledge or the strength to rise again. We possess the divine power to end their suffering, to guide them towards a brighter future. But to do so, we must descend from our celestial perches, not as intangible spirits, but as men. We must walk amongst them, sharing our wisdom and our strength." A murmur of agreement rippled through the assembled watchers, a symphony of conflicted emotions. Some hesitated, fully understanding the potential consequences of their actions. They knew the unimaginable cost of defying the Creator, of forsaking their celestial vows. But Shemihaza pressed on his words, weaving a compelling tapestry of hope and salvation. "If we all commit to this sacred task, there will be no turning back," he declared, his eyes burning with unwavering determination. "Let us swear a solemn oath together, a bond of unwavering loyalty. If one of us falls, we all fall, sharing in the consequences, whatever they may be. We will stand together, united in purpose, until the very end." Sariel's heart pounded in his chest, threatening to burst from its celestial confines. He thought of the fragile child, her life hanging precariously in the balance. He thought of the struggling farmers desperately trying to decipher the changing seasons. He thought of the countless mothers, their hearts filled with fear and uncertainty, longing to protect their children from the unknown terrors that lurked in the shadows. And in that moment of profound decision, when the fate of humanity hung in the balance, Seriel did not walk away. That night they fell from the heavens like a breathtaking rain of living stars, their descent a silent symphony of rebellion against the divine order. The humans below, startled and awestruck by the celestial spectacle, came running to the mountaintop, their faces illuminated by a mixture of fear and unbridled curiosity. There, amidst the swirling snow, stood the watchers, now transformed into forms that resembled men, but with eyes that still burned with the unquenchable intensity of a celestial flame. The people did not fear them. Instead, they reached out in awe, their hearts filled with a sense of wonder and reverence. Sariel knelt amongst them, reverently touching the soil of the earth, breathing in the rich, unfamiliar scent for the very first time. He taught them to meticulously track the moon's movement across the heavens, enabling them to predict the changing seasons and know precisely when to plant and when to harvest, ensuring a bountiful yield. He taught the women how to mix certain leaves and herbs into soothing teas that could heal fevers, calm pain, and restore vitality. In the evenings, he would sit by their crackling fires, captivating them with the timeless stories of the stars, weaving intricate tales of courage, love, and the enduring power of hope. But not all that was given was good. Some of the watchers, corrupted by their own desires and ambitions, shared forbidden knowledge of devastating weapons of war, tools of destruction that could shatter bone and tear flesh. Others taught dark arts that twisted the human spirit, preying on their fears and insecurities, leading them down a path of darkness and despair. The more knowledge that poured out from the heavens, the faster humanity's innocence began to fade, like a delicate flower wilting under the scorching sun. One night, as Sariel looked upon the people he had sworn to protect, he saw something that chilled him to the very core of his celestial being. Two men locked in a brutal fight, wielding blades forged from the very metal that the watchers had revealed to them. Blood stained the once pristine ground, and the killer's eyes were filled not with sorrow or remorse, but with a chilling sense of pride. It was then that Sariel felt the first agonizing sting of guilt, a searing pain that cut through the very essence of his being. He had wanted to help humanity, to guide them towards a brighter future. But had they simply opened the door to unimaginable destruction, unleashing a torrent of violence and despair upon the world? The voice came like a chilling wind that swept through his very bones, not heard with ears, but sensed deep within the core of his soul. Seriel. The voice resonated, and he knew instantly that it was the Creator himself, his presence filling the universe with its unfathomable power. What have you done? The immense weight of the simple question crushed him, and for the first time in his eternal existence, Seriel felt the paralyzing grip of fear, a terror unlike anything he had ever known. The night the summons came, the sky above Mount Hermon cracked like fragile glass, the celestial fabric tearing asunder. The humans below felt it before they saw it, a profound shift in the very atmosphere. The wind died, leaving the air heavy and still. The birds fell silent, their songs abruptly cut short. Even the insects hid, sensing the impending doom. The air was charged with an almost unbearable tension, as if all of creation had drawn in a single collective breath and refused to exhale. Then, the light came, a blinding radiance that pierced through the darkness. It wasn't the soft, gentle glow of sunrise that Seriel so cherished, nor the silver wash of moonlight that painted the world in ethereal beauty. This was a light that pierced bone and soul, a searing radiance that exposed every hidden truth, every unspoken sin, the light of heaven descending in judgment. The Watchers were seized not by human hands, but by forces far beyond mortal comprehension, angels of fire and wind, unfallen and unshaken, sent to bring the wayward rebels home, to face the consequences of their actions. Seriel did not resist. Some of his brothers fought with ferocious desperation, their faces twisted with rage and disbelief, unwilling to accept their impending fate. Others cursed the celestial messengers, screaming that their actions had been noble, that God was unjust to punish them for their compassion. Seriel simply lowered his head in profound sorrow, his heart filled with a mixture of regret and acceptance. The faces of the humans he had taught flashed before his mind, the healed child, her laughter echoing in the valley, the grateful families, their eyes filled with hope, the farmers who could now feed their villages, their faces etched with gratitude. And then the bloodshed, the senseless violence he had witnessed, the blood staining the earth. Had he given them life, or had he simply given them the means to destroy it? They were brought before the throne room, a place so sacred that no angel dared to enter unless expressly summoned by the Creator. Imagine a space so vast that distant stars burn like flickering torches along its infinite walls, a floor of polished glass reflecting the boundless light above, and at the very center, the throne of God, the seat of the Creator himself, where justice and mercy meet in an eternal, unfathomable dance. Michael stood resolutely at one side, his face an unreadable mask. Gabriel stood at the other, his expression equally inscrutable. The Watchers knelt before the throne, some defiantly, their eyes burning with rebellious fire, some trembling with fear, their bodies racked with uncontrollable shivers. Seriel simply closed his eyes, surrendering to the inevitable. The Creator's voice was not like the gentle wind this time. It was not like the earth-shattering thunder. It was everything, encompassing all of creation in its boundless power. "You were given a place amongst the holy," he declared, his voice resonating with profound sorrow. "You were trusted to watch over my children, to guide them and protect them, and yet you descended, defying my express command. You corrupted the very fabric of creation with your forbidden knowledge." A murmur of protest rose from the crowd of fallen angels, a chorus of indignation and denial. "Silence," the Creator commanded, and the word wasn't shouted, it simply was. And the entire room obeyed, every voice silenced, every breath held in anticipation. The judgment was swift and unwavering. Every watcher who had descended from the heavens was to be bound in chains beneath the towering mountains in a place where no light would ever reach until the final day of judgment. There would be no appeal, no second chance, no possibility of redemption. One by one, angels of fire stepped forward, wrapping chains of shimmering light around the rebels' arms and wings, their celestial forms now tarnished by sin. The chains didn't just bind their bodies, they burned deep into their very spirits, severing them from the song of heaven, the harmonious melody that resonated throughout the celestial realms. Sariel felt it with a sickening jolt, the sudden agonizing emptiness, as if someone had ripped out the very center of who he was. The connection to God, the constant hum of divine presence that every angel felt was gone, replaced by a deafening silence. It was in that chilling silence that Sariel understood the true meaning of hell. This is where Sariel's story begins to diverge dramatically from that of the other fallen angels. Many of the watchers spat curses and threats as they were dragged away, their hearts consumed by bitterness and resentment. Others plotted elaborate schemes of vengeance, their minds already twisted by pride and a thirst for retribution. But Seriel began to weep not out of fear for his own impending doom, but because he truly realized the immense damage he had caused, the devastating consequences of his actions. He remembered the fragile child he had healed, her face illuminated by gratitude. He remembered the men who had forged weapons from the forbidden knowledge, their eyes filled with a chilling sense of power. And he whispered almost too quietly for the court to hear, "Lord, I am sorry." No angel had ever uttered those words from that place before. They were taken to the deepest, darkest places of the earth, far below the towering mountains, where they had first descended, their faces now etched with despair. The air was frigid, the darkness absolute, a suffocating void that threatened to consume them entirely. For others, the chains became the end, their spirits slowly withering and dying. They fell into bitterness, their celestial forms twisting into something almost unrecognizable, their once radiant light extinguished forever. For Seriel, the chains became a crucible, a place of profound transformation. In the suffocating silence, with nothing left but his own tormented thoughts, he began to pray, not for release from his agonizing prison, not for the restoration of his former glory, but for forgiveness, for the chance to atone for his sins. He prayed for the humans he had sought to help, that they would use what was good from the knowledge he had shared and reject what was evil, choosing the path of righteousness. He prayed for the watchers who mocked him, their hearts hardened by resentment, that somehow, someday, they too would see the truth and find their way back to the light. And most of all, he prayed that if God ever granted him even the smallest chance to serve again, he would seize it with unwavering dedication, even if it meant that no one would ever remember his name, that his sacrifices would go unacknowledged. So, there you have it. The first part of Seriel's story, a tale woven with threads of compassion, rebellion, and the very first glimmer of hope. It reminds us that even in the face of monumental mistakes, even when we've strayed from the path in the most profound way, the possibility of forgiveness, the whisper of grace, can still reach us. And if an angel who defied heaven itself can find redemption, then surely there's boundless hope for each and every one of us. What are your thoughts on Seriel's choices? Did he act out of genuine compassion, or was he blinded by pride? What does his story tell you about the nature of forgiveness? I'd love to hear your interpretations and any questions you might have. Jump down to the comments section and let's get a conversation going. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, click that button, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into Seriel's journey and uncover the extraordinary act of grace that changed everything. Plus, you'll be the first to know when we release other breathtaking explorations into the mysteries of the Bible. Until then, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring the profound depths of faith.